Hi, Kipsters. Hi, families. Welcome to today's Number Corner. I know you're ready when your thumbs are up, like mine, and your elbows are out. Get ready. I love math. Yes, I do. I love math. How about you? Days of the week. 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 There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. And then there's Saturday. Days of the week. Days of the week. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. Months of the year, get ready. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Months of the year. My turn first. Today is Monday, May 4th, 2020. Today is... Whoa, you all sounded so good saying today's date. You all said today is Monday, May 4th, 2020. How many days have we been in school? Count with me, get ready. 100, stop, switch. Count by tens. 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. Stop, switch. Count by ones. 151. 152, 153, 154, 155, 156, 157, 158, 159, 100. What comes next? 160. That's right. We've been in school a new day, so I went ahead and added one more. But I have a question. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 ones. What can I do to change this? Think in your head. First I had 9 ones, but I added another one because we were in school a new day. So now I have 10 ones. 10 ones is the same as is the same as what? Think really hard. Well, you gotta give me a thumbs up. 10 ones is the same as what? That's right. 10 ones is the same as 110. So I can erase all these ones and make 110. Because 10 ones is the same as 110. Because it's the same as, that's right. So I'm going to go ahead and erase all of these ones and replace it with a 10 stick. Let's recount to see how many we have now. Get ready. 100, stop, switch. Count by tens. 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. Whoa. We've been in school 160 days. I'm going to go ahead and write that number in our hundreds, tens, and ones chart. We've been in school 160 days. Whoa, that's a lot of days. Ooh, Miss Ross dropped her marker top. So now, I have another question. Hands up in the fist. Is it odd or even? Odd or even? Odd or even? Odd or even? Is the number 160 odd or even? And how do you know? Think really hard when you got to give me a silent thumbs up. Is the number 160 odd or even? And how do you know? Answers in 5. 4. Whoa, so many friends already have their thumb up in 3, 2, 1. I think I have everyone in 0. I heard a lot of friends say the number 160 is even because there's a 0 in the ones place, and they know that 0 is even. One more time. I heard that friend said the number 160 is even because there's a 0 in the ones place, and they know that 0 is even. Anytime we want to figure out if a number is odd or even, we always look to see what number is in the ones place. Ooh, it's time for coins. Get ready. Pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. Pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. A penny's worth 1 cent, a nickel's worth 5 cents, a dime is worth 10 cents, a quarter 25. Pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. Pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. This should be so fast. This is called a That's right, it's called a penny. How much is it worth? Show me. I'm seeing a whole bunch of ones up. That's right, it's worth 1 cent. And how do we know that it's a penny? How do we know that this coin is a penny? That's right. It's the only coin that's facing the other way. It's all up in the Kool-Aid, but don't know the flavor. Next coin, don't get tricked. What is this called? It's called a dime. And how much is a dime worth? Miss Ross always forgets. That's right. Oh, like 2 high fives. A dime is worth 10 cents. And how do we know that this coin is a dime? How do we know? What makes you know that this coin is a dime? Oh, because it has a straight line. So then Miss Ross. Next coin, get ready. This is called a... That's right, it's called a nickel. And how much are nickels worth? 5 cents. You got it. They're worth 5 cents. And how do we know that this coin is a nickel? How do you know that this is a nickel, not another coin? Oh, because he has a braid. Last coin. Don't get tricked. This coin, what is it called? Okay, you got it. It's called a quarter. And how much is a quarter worth? That's right, 25 cents. And how do we know that this coin is a quarter? Oh, because he has a curl. Friends, get ready. It's time to switch, count. It's time to... Let's count by ones. Get ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Stop. Switch. Count up by tens. 13, 23, 33, 43, 53, 63. Stop. Switch. Count up by ones. 63, 64, 65. 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. Stop. Switch. Count up by twos. 74, 76, 78, 80, 82, 84, 86, 88, 90, 92. Stop. Switch. Count up by tens. 92, 102, 112. Stop. Switch. Count up by ones. 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120. Stop. Switch. Count back by tens. 120, 110, 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40. Stop. Switch. Count back by ones. 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27. Stop. Switch. Count back by tens. 27, 17, 7. Stop. Switch. Count back by ones. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Friends, I have something super cool that we're going to go over today. You might have remembered us going over this when we were back at school, but we're going to review just in case you forgot. So, friends, today we're going to look at some pictographs. We're going to look at some, that's right, we're going to look at some pictographs. I'm going to tell you a short story, and then we're going to figure out which graph matches our story. Sound good? Great. So, our story is about apples today. Pay close attention so you don't miss any of the important information in the story. Great. My story is, Hampton took a survey to see how many girls and how many boys Miss Ross got tricked. Wrong story. This story is about Miss Schwartz. Ooh, get ready. I know my Rattlers and FAMU are super excited. Miss Schwartz went and bought apples in January, February, March, and in April. Wow, she bought apples in 4 different months. Each month, she got a different amount of apples. In January, she got 10 apples. In February, she got 40 apples. In March, she got 25 apples. And in April, she got 20 apples. We want to know which graph matches this information. Because she got so many different apples in different months, I'm going to write the amount of apples she got each month so I don't forget. So, in January, Miss Schwartz got 10 apples. In February, Miss Schwartz, she got a lot of apples this month. She got 40 apples. And in March, she got 25 apples. And in April, she got 20 apples. I wrote this down here so it's easier for me to remember after I figure out how many she got each month in the graphs. So, before we even start counting, I'm going to give you a tip. When you look at a graph, you always want to check for the key that might be at the bottom or on the side of the graph. The key is so important because it tells you how much each picture is worth. Sometimes you might think, one picture might only be worth 1, but in this key, each apple is worth more than 1. Let's look. So, one picture of an apple is equal to 10 apples. That's really, really important. And if you see half of an apple, that means it equals 5 apples, which makes sense because half of 10 is 5. So if we see a full apple, that equals to 10 apples. And if we see a picture of half of an apple, that means it only represents 5 apples. So let me tell you the strategy I'm going to use to figure out which graph is correct. I'm going to start with this graph and count to see how much this graph shows for each month. And I'm going to do the same thing for the graph on this side. So don't forget, a picture of 1 apple is worth 10 apples. So let's look at January. January has 1 apple. So this 1 apple is the same as 1. No, that's not right because our key tells us that a picture of 1 apple equals 10 apples. So what number should I write on top of this apple? That's right, I should write 10. Let's go to February. Oh, I'm going to count by 10s to help me because I know each apple is worth 10. Count with me. 10, 20, 30, 40. Let me give you another hint. On the side, I'm going to write how much for that entire month. So for January, it was only 1 apple, which equals 10 apples. So I'm going to write 10. We just counted February. We counted 10, 20, 30, 40. So this one has 40 for February. Let's count March. 10, 20. Oh, don't get tricked. This is half an apple. So is it worth 10? No, it's only worth 5. 20 plus 5 more is 25. So for March, there's 25 apples in this chart. And let's look at April. April looks super easy because we can just count by 10s to help us. Get ready. 10, 20. So for April, in this graph, she had 20 apples. So we did this graph. I want to do the next graph just to make sure. So when I check, I can make sure which graph is absolutely 100% correct. We're going to use the same strategy in counting. So January, it has a full apple, which is worth 10, and a half an apple. How much is half an apple worth? Who remembers? Oh, I see some friends pointing at the key to help us. Half of an apple is only worth 5 apples, so 10 plus 5 is what? That's right, it's worth 15. Let's do February. Get ready. 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so for February, we got 40 on this side. Let's go to March. Get ready. One apple's worth 10. Keep counting. 20. Ooh, there's another half. And half is worth how many apples? Show me with your hands. That's right. Half of an apple is worth 5 apples. So 10, 20, this would be 25. Let's count April. Get ready. 10, 20, 30. Oh, and we have half of an apple right here. We know half an apple is worth 5 apples. So 30 plus 5 is 35. Great. So now the hard part is done. We already counted to see how many apples were bought in each month. Now, after we read the story, I made a list to tell us how many apples Ms. Schwartz bought each month. In January, Ms. Schwartz bought 10 apples. Let's check January. January, this one has 10. But does this one have 10? No. So this part's not right. February, she bought 40 apples. So I'm going to give myself a check here because this was right. But it didn't equal 10 on this side for this graph. Let's look at February. February, she bought 40 apples. Okay, let's check February. February 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, we got 40. Here's when I'm going to give myself a little check. We also got 40 on this side, but we want to keep checking all the months to make sure every number is correct. In March, she got 25 apples. Let's see, March. Okay, she got 25 apples here. March, she got 25 apples here. In April, she only got 20 apples. April, 20 right here. Wow, but April on this graph, it says 35, so that's not right. So I have a question. This graph has checks for all of them, which means these numbers match the numbers in the graph, our pictograph. But on this graph, only 2 of the months match what Ms. Schwartz bought. So which graph do we think is 100% correct? That means every single month in the picture matches what Ms. Schwartz bought. That's right. This first graph is 100% correct. Sometimes when you get a question and it wants you to compare graphs and see which one is right, you don't want to get tricked and pick the graph that only some of the information is right. You want a graph that 100% all the way matches the information in your story. I want to shout you all out. This was really, really, really tricky because this key was a little bit different. Sometimes you get keys where one picture is just equal to 1. But in these keys, we saw that 1 apple was equal to 10 apples and half of an apple was equal to 5. And you all did such a great job helping me figure out how many apples were bought in each month when looking at the pictograph. I can't wait to see what pictograph we look at on Wednesday. Bye, Kipsters. Bye, families.